he handed me court documents. This is the young man who had worked for Anastasia and her husband, Manahan, on their farm. He had been with them all those years. I think it was, I don't remember how many years, a long, long time. And he knew very well it was Anastasia and all that. When Anna was murdered, now listen to the names if you care to go back to the prior tape. You got Larry, I'm driving a Larry Flint car that's furnished by Hustler, by Flint. His wife, Althea, I met one time while I was out there. And she dies in a pool. This is use of mind control in this. And how do you prove it? You know, her name is Althea. And Flint's wife's first name was Peggy. Okay, now this is fast forward to where I'm driving the car, and I don't have touch with Flint anymore. In fact, they locked him up in Butner, North Carolina, where the serial killers are taken. They tortured him. They took his power of attorney, and for what? Because Larry Flint told the truth? Yeah. So I'm driving, it's a timeline. I'm driving through Charlottesville when Anastasia is murdered, and they use the mental health system, Blue Ridge Mental Health. And they've lied about the mess. I heard it on the radio. I did not know how much kin that Anastasia was to me, and I was shocked. I wish I could have met her. So anyway, the woman who ended up with Anastasia's property after she was murdered, you can't believe this. Except if you know what they've done to me, then you know they do anything. I'm in Roanoke, and I've lived on the mountain. I've done everything, walked the side of the roads. But it shocked me to read what they had said about Anastasia. This woman, Althea, and by the way, that's an unusual name, and that was Larry Flint's wife's name that suddenly died in a bathtub, heart-shaped bathtub. It's unreal what they've allowed to happen. And to hear the Americans tell it, Anastasia, they defamed her. It's so sick, just like they have me. My point in all this, if it's not sounding too rambling right at the moment, is they make the good guys look bad. That's exactly what they've done. They took out my father. They lied by using a double and giving them, he became illegal monarch, my own uncle who kidnapped and took down his own brother. There's Roosevelt and the Kennedys. Kennedy was ambassador to Great Britain during the time he helped my kidnapping. Now then, I'm going to skip over. I've tried to tell about Anna and the fact that I want to go ahead and say this because it's so appalling, some of the articles I've written. Not I've written, I read about what they said about Anastasia, and she really was Anastasia. And the court documents that the young man that had worked for them all those years on the farm showed up at the Salvation Army on Christmas that year and handed them to me. And I've never seen documents, and they were legit court documents from Charlottesville. So some of the royal family did come over here and were in court after she was murdered. Now then, this woman named Althea, which is the same name that Larry Flint's wife that died, Althea Flint, which is an unusual name, and attorney Preston was hired to have her put away, Anastasia put away, and that's when she was killed. Preston is also the name of the twin, Carl Preston, that they gave me the name of Peggy when they kidnapped me. Both twins were dead. So it gets into, their farm was in Scottsville, outside Charlottesville. So I don't know what else to say here. I've tried to put it in the best order I can in the shape I'm in right at the moment myself. But the other thing was that how the people from the books that have been written about Tsar Nicholas and the lies, I'm sitting here reading I'm Googling it, and it's unreal to listen to some of the lies, how they had to make him bad and her bad. it's hard to take and then know what they did to my father and to me here in this country and to my sons. I don't even know if my sons are alive or dead. I have to hope they are. What do you think they took my father out? And by the way, you get into good old Woodrow Wilson, okay? And this government taking out monarchs way back and leaders of countries, taking over everything they have. This is my dad, a beautiful man. I don't have a picture of my mom, but it's sure the H-E-double-L wasn't this spy that married the double. And I had someone ask me if I was from here. Because I lived on the mountain and was put here and had to survive, if I were ever able to go back to England, wouldn't my family be ashamed of me? I thought, why should they be ashamed of me? I was put over here, and I didn't know some of the Windsors' involvement in my kidnapping. Why should I be ashamed? These are the ones that should be ashamed. Elizabeth and the people that sold out his own brother, his own niece, the monarch, Victoria II, kidnapped me, went with the Illuminati, sold out his own country. And you know how they're living? Elizabeth and all her brood? No. So you make the good people look bad and the bad people look good. And that's where it's at. And I just told about the mind control murders, and it just upsets the heck out of me to know the lies in the books and the photos that have been changed about my dad, a 99-year seal put on an illegal forced abdication, and it was illegal, and I am the legal heir. And it would do me so good to set it straight. Oh, you bet it would. Now then, ask your press why they haven't told about me and my kidnapping, because they knew before I did. Why have they not told about the mind control murders? I didn't mean to go over here and show my bedroom, or it's all one room, but anyway. And I'm going to end with this. Amanda Knox, maybe one of the mind control murders, but I'm not going to focus on that right now, because what I'm going to focus on is how the press has treated her. They failed to mention anything about me. You would think kidnapping a monarch and torturing me and me telling about mind control, and believe me, the people in Atlanta, the TV, all of it back then when I was doing the book and later in the campaign in Huntsville, Alabama, where I worked for the DA, and it's hideous what they've done to me, and they are in Huntsville. And then they make this, because she's an American, right? And the Americans are above the law, and that's what a state trooper told me when I was put in and gassed. And so I'll leave it at that. I put that on former tapes.